strong food system
can end hunger
and malnutrition in all its forms,
provide us nourishment,
which promotes human health at every step.
To me,
a strong food system means
ensuring food security for all,
even during a pandemic.
Para mí, un sistema alimentario fuerte significa
priorizar lo nutritivo,
active family participation,
making markets easy and accessible,
for selling the produce I grow.
To me,
a strong food system means
no matter your race, no matter your class, no matter where you live,
everyone around the world,
all people,
both men and women,
even the poorest families,
everyone
has access to healthy,
sufficient,
affordable,
local,
and nutritious food all year round, every month, every day of the week.
Welcome back. I'm very glad to be back with you after almost 23 hours live. I'm Sara Roversi. I'm the founder of the Future Food Institute, and together with the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, we kicked off this morning this very long journey, a long marathon, a 24-hour marathon. We started in Australia very early in the morning yesterday for us, and then we explored all over Asia, and then the Mediterranean, the Middle East, and Europe, Africa, and now the Americas. I'm really overwhelmed by the number of incredible insight, learnings, amazing voices, and voices of people that are really making this change that is needed happening every single day. So I'm really excited and happy to be here with you and to see how many beautiful and positive things are happening around the world. Now, I want to also remind that this is a crucial year for food. It's a crucial year for food that we are celebrating today on Earth Day. And I'm saying that because, as we have seen now with this video, this year the United Nations decided to organize this very, very important summit, the UN Food Systems Summit, that is going to take place first of all in Rome for the pre-summit, involving youth from all around the world, and then in September in New York. So also we thank so much our friends from the Food Systems Summit that are working every single day, activating dialogues and voices, sharing knowledge about how might we gonna fix the food system, making it more sustainable, just accessible for all. And now, I would love for this last session to involve Eric Carr, who's the co-founder and CEO of the Laudato Si Challenge, inspired by Pope Francis. I'm really glad to be with you, Eric.
Sarah, I can't believe you have this much energy and look this fresh after 23 hours. You're an astonishing force.
You are very nice saying that I look fresh now. Yeah. But let's say we're doing our best. Actually, we are, let's say, super energized by those incredible voices and people that are showing that actually we can make this change happen. We can make this change happen.
Great. Well, thank you for having me. It's really an honor and a pleasure. And thank you for the great work you're doing in the world. It takes people like you, bold leaders, to step up and create change. So I think everyone owes you, after 23 hours, our universal global human family celebration of your great work and your great efforts.
Thank you so much. You know what? It's been amazing to see all united under the same message. We had like almost 30 ministers from different countries. We had the voice of indigenous people, the voice of students, youth, activists, farmers, chefs, scientists. The Nobel Prize has been really unbelievable. The amount of, the amount of will to change altogether. And everyone is understanding that there's no time. We don't have time. So those few years ahead from now until the achievement of the 2030 agenda, is really the last chance we have to accelerate this transition and keep our temperature lower as much as we can, let's say.
Yeah.
So Eric, I would love to know from you, what is the Laudato Si challenge? What are you doing? How we can all contribute? How we can really take inspiration from the Laudato Si, the integral ecology approach, to better understand?
Yes. Well, quite frankly, I didn't know what Laudato Si was 6 years ago, and I was invited to the Vatican, and I learned what the encyclical letter was of the Holy Father of Laudato Si. There I met His Eminence Cardinal Turkson, who illuminated me to this extraordinary document. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm supposed to be a well-educated person, but I didn't know what this letter was. When I read it, it transformed everything that I believe about our global human family, about caring for our common home, as the Pope says, and answering the cry of the poor and of the planet. So out of this meeting arose the Laudato Si Challenge, and it is really our mandate to take this extraordinary encyclical letter of Pope Francis and put its principles into action, to actually take bold movements towards creating a world that, as you're doing with food and caring for our climate and caring for the poor and the vulnerable, and that's really my job, is to create a human dignity narrative that leaves no one behind.
And this is great. And I think is interesting to see how all of that connects with some values that are shared everywhere in the world. It's
Yes.
not just a matter of one religion, but we're talking about basic principles, the basic principle of humanity, the basic values of humanity. We're talking about probably the most important rule, the golden rule, the spirit
Yes.
of reciprocity, giving back what we receive, give value in advance, and really implement a mindset that is a circular mindset, a regenerative mindset with respect of what we have.
Yeah, that's right. I need to have a video conference with you every morning so I can feel better about my day, because you're so inspiring and articulate in how you talk about your vision. But you're right, there are no borders. We're one global human family, as the Pope says, and food is a basic dignity. It's a social justice issue. It's a human right. And we have enough resources to create food, healthy food, sustainable food for everyone in our global human family. And we need to do better, and we can do better. And that's really what you're doing. And so I'm just here to be of service to your great work. And I want to, again, thank you, because, you know, this evening I had dinner with my family, and I had food on the table for my children and my beautiful wife. And we take that for granted here in California. There's millions, billions of people who have to struggle to do that. And we have a moral imperative, the people who have a blessed life, to do more. And it's not enough, as you said, to just talk. There's a sense of urgency here, and we need to take bold action. So I'm looking forward to our partnership and our friendship so that we can serve you in your great mission in bold, concrete ways, moving, as Cardinal Turkson and Pope Francis like to say, from the abstract to the concrete.
Yeah, and actually this year, not only we were able to connect hundreds of voices around the world with this global marathon, but we decided to launch a call for climate actions. So we had hundreds of people that just spontaneously applied, sharing their climate actions. And you see that actually there are people that are doing this, probably they were not talking it in a cool way, climate action, but they're acting well for their community, acting well for the planet, acting well because there is a sense of what is good, what is not. And I think we need to share those stories because they can become role models. They can inspire others to do good, to be better. And so I think that this is probably one of the first things that at least we can contribute to do. But I want to listen from you. What's your suggestion? We have a lot of youth participating in this marathon. Many of the youth that are participating to the Voices of the Food System Summit, many activists. how do you think we can really contribute to accelerate this movement? And the second question is how people can get in touch with what the Laudato Si Challenge is doing, if there's a way to get in touch with your organization and follow your activities.
Yeah, so thank you. I'm going to actually ask you a question first, if you don't mind, before I answer.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, how do you view success, Sarah? What is your measurement of success for all of this great work you're doing so that we can all contribute to that? And then I think I can answer your question better.
Let's say I see success when I see our fellows that are starting doing things, running projects. They get in touch with us, they get inspired, and then they come back saying, hey, Sarah, do you know, I'm doing this with my community. And actually, during this marathon, we have been connecting some of our fellows that started with the Future Food Institute maybe 8 years ago. And now they are in Zimbabwe, empowering women in agriculture and doing great. Or we say, we have been connecting our fellows all over the world. Mm-hmm. And it's such an amazing thing to see that they were our students and now they are change makers. They are really able to heal the society and build thriving communities.
Well, that's a great answer. And that's probably what I would say, which is take action. Don't be afraid. My message to the young people of the world is we need you now more than ever. And there's something magical and divine that happens when you actually take action, when you decide that this is what you're going to do. And the fact of the matter is, Sarah, this is not our planet. We're borrowing it from our children. We have a moral obligation to leave this better than we found it. So the best way we can do that is to support these young entrepreneurs with our intellectual capital, our financial capital, our spiritual capital. So my answer to the young people is to step up, take bold action. And what that will do is create a virtuous cycle. People will join you. Good things will happen. Don't wait. Just put your ideas out there and ask people like you and me and amazing people like Cardinal Turkson and investors to get behind your idea. Don't be afraid to ask for help and ask for support, because we owe it to you, the young people, to support your bold ideas to create a better world. So take action, be fearless, and ask for help.
Thank you so much. This is one of the other lessons that I'm going to take with me after this amazing marathon. So, Eric, I'm super glad you were able to join us during this journey.
Yeah,
and that you're part of
I'm
this.
running across the finish line with you, Sarah.
What?
I'm running across the finish line with you. It's 23 and a half hours. You're there.
Exactly. And I'm actually broadcasting from Polica, the capital of the Mediterranean diet, where I invited you to join us in September. So I really look forward to host you here. That is our new home, where we are launching this campus inspired to the integral ecology concept. So I think that this is going to be really the community where we're going to start to build a brand new, very ambitious and bold project, as you're saying. So I'm really glad that you were able to join the marathon. Thank you, Eric. And we are about to end this journey. So thank you again. We stay always around the Americas. Now we go up to the north. And I want to invite a guest from Canada. Who's the executive director of the Strategic Trade Policy Division of at the Agriculture and Agri-Food in Canada, Marie-Noëlle Desrochers. Please light up your camera. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I couldn't see you at the beginning. So you are participating really in the last shot of this incredible marathon that our Future Food Institute has been organizing together with the Food and Agriculture Organization. We are very inspired by what some countries are doing really to achieve the SDGs, starting from food, from innovating in the agri-food sector from farm to fork, and really would love to hear something about Canada, about what you're doing to give those last statement and share those last statement with the world.
Well, may I start by saying that I'm equally inspired by the energy you bring to this important topic. So thank you very much for organizing this wonderful event to celebrate Earth Day 2021 and underline the critical importance of developing sustainable food systems. As the decade of action unfolds, Canada is committed to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals of the Agenda 2030. We must all remember that sustainability requires three dimensions: environmental, social, and economic. Food security represents one of the most complex and important challenges that we face as a global community. Addressing this problem and achieving Sustainable Development Goal 2, zero hunger, will require both extensive domestic policy intervention as well as strong international cooperation. I will begin my remarks by discussing Canada's approach to the sustainable development of the agriculture sector and improving food safety and nutrition. Canada supports using a sustainable food systems approach at home and through our international assistance. We believe a food systems approach enables more comprehensive support for women's empowerment. It addresses complex environmental challenges such as climate change and supports economic growth. On the domestic front, Canada's roadmap for a healthier and more sustainable food system is the Food Policy for Canada. The development of the first ever food policy for Canada was mandated to the Minister of Agriculture in 2015. This was followed by consultations with 45,000 Canadians in 2017 and the release of a What We Heard report in 2018. The food policy was then launched on June 17, 2019. We recognize that food systems are integral to the health of people and the planet. The way we produce, process, distribute, consume, and dispose of food has direct impacts on food security, health, as well as on the environment and economy. That's why the food policy is focused on improving food-related health outcomes and promoting inclusive economic growth, strong Indigenous food systems, sustainable food practices, and vibrant communities. Furthermore, Canada's recently announced 2021 budget includes $140 million to help emergency hunger relief organizations prevent hunger and strengthen food security in our communities. This budget also earmarks $200 million to the Agricultural Climate Solutions Program to accelerate emission reductions in the sector. This program is based on an expanded model of Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada's Living Labs networks, which has been endorsed by the G20 as a model of innovation and collaborative research. Our food policy also addresses the importance of reducing food loss and waste. Over the last years, Canada has undertaken foundational work to study food waste, its causes, and the actions best suited to addressing the problem. In order to tackle this challenge, reduced food waste has been underlined as one of the 4 near-term action areas of the food policy for Canada. $26 million has been earmarked in investment for 2019 to 2024 to foster the implementation of tangible solutions. That's what we're doing at home. Internationally, Canada's attention has shifted to addressing the root causes of food security using a food systems approach. Canada's international assistance supports climate-smart agriculture, gender transformative approaches in agriculture, and the development of sustainable food systems to improve food security, reduce poverty, and develop climate resilience in developing economies. Canada also believes that, in addition to domestic policies and regulations, having a predictable, rules-based system rooted in science-based regulations in place to move food from areas of abundance to areas of scarcity is critical to achieving food security. Not only does this facilitate the movement of food, it also supports diversification of food systems, innovation, production, investment, specialization, and economic growth. With this in mind, our collective efforts should include a focus on strengthening the multilateral trading system and on addressing non-tariff barriers that hinder innovation, trade, and investment. So thank you so much for your time, and I want to wish everyone a happy Earth Day.
Thank you very much. We're very glad we had also the voice from Canada. We also thank our embassy and the representative who are connecting us with the scientists and the knowledge that in Canada actually has been developed around all of those topics. So thank you for joining our marathon. So now, just before entering in the last session, we want to share a very short message from Cardinal Turkson.
My dear friends and all of you, dear participants, we've heard this several times over, and we all know, and we've read about it, that there's a lot of food produced in the world, and yet so much goes to waste, and that there's still so very many people in the world who go to bed hungry, and that the world has difficulty ensuring food security for its population. This, of course, is not a moment to think about the balance between world's population and the ability of the world to feed the population in the world. The discourse, of course, is that the present COVID-19 has revealed this and made it very stark, clear to all of us that our food distribution system leaves a lot to desire. And that's why we want to engage and invite all to consider how we can deal with this and ensure food security for the world's population. Certainly, the aspects of this issue are very multifarious, and they can be discussed from several many different points of view. We know that the climate and the weather plays a role, and not everybody lives in a part of the world which enjoys such weather to be able to produce and to produce food conveniently and easily. But we also know that there's still a lot, an abundance of food in the world that still goes to waste. So how do we balance them? The challenge for us is to put food distribution, food production and distribution together and ensure that both go in tandem. So given the COVID situation, which reveals how the poor suffer badly from such a problem of food distribution, we probably simply just want to draw attention to 4 basic points about correcting the situation, transforming the situation, and making the poor and those who live in situations where food security cannot be ensured, a little bit more, live in an environment that is more affordable. So we need to first look at the whole food situation, the food production system, from the farm to the table, and look therefore at the great challenge of not only production, distribution, consumption, and manage our waste so that even what needs to be thrown out can probably reprocess to do this. I can give you an example. Look at the mop, the hop, and the malt that is used in breweries. It's just been discovered that the waste is so rich in protein that it can easily be converted to flour and go into baking bread and pastries to nourish a lot of people. Second point that we need to observe is probably the fact that at the center of this debate is the need to consider the vulnerable communities, those who suffer from this, the voiceless small-scale farmers, and how they need to be supported and helped to be able to support and to sustain their own communities. For access to food, in fact, is sometimes a question of right. People have right to food and to feed. And whatever we can do to enable people to realize that right, for this is the objective of the SDGs, human dignity narrative that leaves nobody behind. And it is our duty, as it were, to ensure that nobody is also left behind in this access to food right. Thirdly, we need also to think about developing and supporting sustainable models of food production, such as agroecology, such as the use of, improved use of traditional methods of food production, and all of that to make all of this possible. And thirdly, to make resources, financial resources available, as well as the political will of governments and of the state to support and to invest in proper food production so that their populations are well fed. So dear friends, with these few thoughts want to encourage all of you and to help ensure food security for the world, especially its poorest. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're back again, and we are about to end this incredible marathon. So in the meantime, I will ask to my team behind the scene over there, behind the wall, to start to join me, because I think that for this, last 20, 30 minutes, I really would love to have you all here together with me after 24 hours of global run. And I would love to introduce two friends of the Future Food Institute and of this marathon. The first one is now located in Hawaii. And last year was nice because he was watching the sun falling in the sea. And we were watching the sun rising here on this side of the world. I'm talking about Ramsey Taum, founder and president of the Life Enhancement Institute of the Pacific. And the second one is another amazing friend of the Future Food Institute, of Pollica, of our community, and is Mark Brand, founder of A Better Life Foundation. We're talking about Mother Earth, we're talking about life, and today we thought that was the best way to celebrate Earth Day. So I want to invite them on stage with me because, good morning. Oh, good morning for me, sorry. It's amazing to close this marathon with you two. I said I need the best souls together with me for this powerful closing, I would say. I'm still talking, but I don't know how, because after 24 hours, let's say, it's a bit tough to find words overall, because I've been overwhelmed by incredible good things that are happening around the world. There are so many bad things that sometimes to just see what people are able to do when they are joining forces to build the better world, I think it's really amazing. So thank you so much for being here with us. And let's start from you, Ramsey. Last year was great because with the big aloha, we were sharing with the world really what's the good spirit we should bring with us when we're talking about the balance we need to find.
Yeah,
and I would love you to share the aloha with the world again.
Well, thank you, Sarah. It's good to see you again. And we went right around the earth one whole time. So that's pretty good. And you did it today and you did it last year. And it's just wonderful to be here. Mark, good to see you. Thank you for having me. We talked about aloha, the concept of reciprocity. It's a very special principle here. It's a way of living and not just a greeting. And it really speaks about the relationship that we have with our place and with one another. And if there's any relationship that really locks us in and defines who we are, it's the food we eat. In Hawaii, we say this concept, He Hawaii'au, I am Hawaii. And what that speaks of is that when I consume the food and the water of this place, that's giving me identity. Generations before me have continued to do this. So the reciprocity agreement is that I am receiving her and she's receiving me when I transpire and move on to the next space. And so by giving myself back to Aina, or we say Honua, Earth Mother, we continue generations beyond. And so it's the ultimate relationship between ourselves, this planet, island Earth, and one another. And to talk about food is really to talk about us, because in that statement, He Hawaii'au, we're really saying we are what we eat. And so if we don't know where our food's coming from, then do we really know who we are? And I think if anything, the encouragement is to begin to say, embrace that relationship, do what we can to take care of our places, because if we are contributing food to others elsewhere, we need to be concerned about their health and their identity as much as we are our own. And that's the root of aloha. And so that's some of the things we talked about the last time. And thank you for doing what you're doing, because that's clearly a demonstration of aloha to all of us. So thank you for the opportunity to share that. Yeah. Yes, Tara. Yeah.
So sending you lots of aloha and lots of aloha for everyone in the world who's following us and that was following us since last night. So really, really is a pleasure to have you at the end of this journey, because what you're sharing actually is the basic principle, the principle of the golden rule, the principle that is telling that we need to give value in advance, and the spirit of reciprocity need to be the driver of all of our actions. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, Sarah, for everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then, Mark, I'm going to wear my mask because the guys are coming here. I'm so sorry, but we have to wear the mask. And let's close this session.
I know where you are.
Guys,
I stood right there in September. Bring them in.
Yeah,
Hey.
bring them in.
Congratulations, everyone. Good job. Good job. Way to go.
Look at them. The heroes. The heroes. They are the heroes. 24
Excellent.
hours.
That's family.
Teamwork
right
makes
there.
a dream work. Good job.
Exactly. So, Mark, what we have to do from now on? What's the starting point?
Yeah. I mean, I'm so. First of all, I feel I'm very emotional seeing the team, and I'm so excited to see you all in a couple of months in Polica, in Sicily, in Rome together. I can't wait. I love you all, and I'm happy you're safe. And seeing you with your masks reminds me that we are still in this time. So I come to you today from the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Snohomish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations, the traditional landholders of Vancouver, British Columbia. And of course, our work is within food security, and food recovery. And this last week, we celebrated a large milestone since we've been operating here for 10 years in the downtown east side, which is that we crossed 3 million meals provided into the community by the community from providers of incredible products. And it's been a very long road. But when I hear an official from my government who preceded me talk about all the work that's being done, I think about all the good work that the government gets to talk about because of the people who have done the work, and the people who I honor and represent. And so I'm so proud to be here and to think about waste recovery. We throw around all of these words, and people talk about these plans that they have, but they fail the minutia. They don't talk to us about what they're actually doing. And I don't think it's not because they don't intend to. I believe that they wish they could. But when we started to address food security, we realized that to do so, relationships were paramount. True relationships, true partnerships like the one I have with you, Sarah, and the Future Food Institute, of trust, of showing up, especially when it's hard, not just when the cameras are there. And what does it look like to truly be in community? So we thought about food waste, and often we say, well, if it was so easy to actually recover food, wouldn't the grocery stores do it? Wouldn't the suppliers do it? Wouldn't everybody else do it? But we started to approach it in June last year with a few grocery stores, 2 people, an electric tricycle, and a chef. And as of last week, we've taken 16 million tons out of grocery stores with that few people, almost no financial resource, and gotten that into people in shelters, women and children predominantly fleeing violence, indigenous populations, reconstituted it, and offset thousands of kilograms of CO2. It's Earth Day. We're supposed to be working, and we have to work. We can pontificate wildly. I love to think, I love to teach, I love to write, I love to dream. But a dream without action is a sentence for this planet. We have to be working. And so I appreciate and respect all the different stakeholders that come to our tables, that sit with us and talk with us, and vice versa. We are all at different parts of our learning journey, and we must respect that of others for us all to be able to bring energy to it. But I often like to hear about proof. I really like to hear about proof when we say words like reconciliation. Show me. Show me. You're good at saying it. So I love working with the Future Food Institute. This is a non-paid endorsement. I adore the partnership that we've struck with the FAO. I love working with the United Nations Catalyst team. I believe in the individuals who are sacrificing every part of their most valuable resource, which is their time, to try and help us figure all of this out. So Sarah, as always, it's an honor to be here with you, and I hope that is helpful.
Thank you, Mark. I think that this has been the best ending for our marathon. I don't know if Ramsey, you want us to do something together?
That'd be great. You know, it's all about what Mark just said. It's about energy. You know, it's how we put we get energy from food, but we have to put energy into the land, into the air, into the water, into one another. So in Hawaii, we call that mana. And so let's create some mana and create some energy. So I'm going to ask everybody, put your left hand out and say ma.
Ma.
Yeah, that's soft energy. That's the feminine. Everybody put your right hand out and say na.
Na.
Yeah, so na is the positive energy. It's a plus sign. And so we put our hands together, we're going to create some energy. So one clap, ready? Go. That's one. 2 times, go. 3 times, go. All right, let's keep it going. Thank you. That's the kind of energy we need. Okay? So, good job, everybody. Because it's the hands and it's the energy. Excellent. You guys have done such a great job. Thank you for including us in this process. May the mana always be with you, as they say, when the force, the mana, be with you. Mark, it's good to see you. Aloha. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Aloha, brother.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Thank you all.
Aloha. Thank you so much. And let's say, see you next year. Happy Earth Day. Ciao.